Welcome in. Let it begin. Let the magic begin as we welcome in, welcome in. Doing it to it like no other. Always going for the gusto, no matter what the flight is, right? Always going to soar. Not looking to be bored, but looking for more. Making videos to build, not to tear down. Unless we have to tear down to build. All right. Welcome in. Little poem here. I had to go off the cuff with that poem. I did. So, man, how about this last video about how to connect, how to channel your channel, how to become the channel, or how to channel your higher self. That was freaking the bomb. I mean, I revelated through that video and just kept adding stuff because I was seeing stuff and stuff I've said here. Thing that I always am going to look to something that's going to give revelative life. It's from life, right? Speaking words of creativity and life. So yeah. So I'm going a combo today. We're kind of off the cuff. With a little bit of the word of the day, but we'll call it word of the day. But I'm going to go in on it. Something that I had seen recently, about within the last week, probably not even quite a week, and I was picking up and getting it and applying it, and then today I was seeing, just really more. And then I did this little Google thing about what my thought was, and it was right there. And I said, see, it populated on my thought of what I said. And we're going to go in today. I got an interesting word of the day for you guys. And a little off the cuff with it, because we're going to go in. All right, we're going to go in. I made two. Some reason it's not letting me share both of them at the same time, and that's strange to me because usually it does. I'm not getting why it's not now. But anyways, so why? Okay, here's our word of the day. So we're going to go in. The word is password, and right here we said a secret word appointing to sign or distinguish a friend from a foe. It's kind of like this password, a password, right? I'm looking at it. This is okay. I'm going to scroll down because it's going to be more specific, and I got another screen to share to bring it in, to accumulate this, to bring this on home. But notice it's a password. It allows you to go from one place by knowing this word that gives you a connection to go through a door, through jobs when they have security, any place that has secure. All your signing into all your social media and all your programming and all your computer stuff and technology is all connected to having passwords to distinguish that it's yours, right? We always, we deal with passwords. Back in the day, it was going into a place that maybe you couldn't go through unless you knew a password, right? We even seen passwords when I remember when the Flintstones, who were a member of the Buffalo Squad. What was it called? The Buffaloes things, which was like the Freemasons, right? They had their buffalo hats, and they're honorary member of the Buffalo Club, and I can't remember exactly how it was called. It was a specific name, the Water Buffalo Club, I think. And they had to have passwords to get in, right? Verbally, this is the password, and that allowed you entrance. So I'm putting this in a very high-tech, in a different way. Watch this. Watchword. Password from watch in the military since a period of standing guard in the sense of slogan. It dates from the 1730s, right? And actually, it should be there. And I thought it wasn't there, and it is here. Let's see if it goes there. There we go. So my thing is what I really came up with, and I've been seeing for about 5 to 6 days, how frequency is a password. And you might say, well, what do you mean by that? And I'm saying for us to go, and even in the last video, we needed to know and do the work of our higher selves, right? We needed to go to work to connect to our higher selves and find any blockages. Well, the blockages that are there doing work to get rid of blockages, but those blockages are really frequencies, are passwords. Hear what I'm saying? They're frequencies because what's happening now is for us to be granted into other realms of density or dimensions, if you like it better, is that you need to match frequency to enter in, which is frequency is a password. So let's read this for a minute. Watch how this goes even in computer tech. It's just like saying frequencies like a password means just like a password grants access to secure systems. A specific frequency, a repeating pattern or wave can be used to unlock or identify a particular signal, device, or system. And I'm talking about even their systems beyond that, our systems, to connect to our higher selves into a higher densities by matching frequencies to the vibration. And what I'm saying is, if there's timelines, when the timeline splits comes, and many of us are feeling it, your frequency needs to match the split and the timeline to have the experience in the timeline, or you're not granted aspect. If you're still 3D in a religious mindset, you're not going to operate in a 5D reality. If you're carnal and doing all kinds of what, and have no knowledge, your frequency is not going to match for you to go to a password, a place that you need a password to have access, which is even going into higher densities, like I'm saying, and going through portals to go to those higher densities will require your frequency to match, hence a password. Like now, if you go to any like sports events, concerts, any kind of things like that, it's on your phone and they go jing. And they say, okay, access. You don't have to give a literal ticket anymore. Your password is now your ticket on that they shine a light into, a fluorescent light. And I could be wrong whether the light's fluorescent or red or whatever type of light they're using, but it will signify that you have a ticket and you paid. You're allowed the password to go into the facility for the event that you went through. This, and even in the aspect of us going through these passwords, meaning getting our frequency to match higher densities of frequency, hence going into a quantum leap, because we're in quantum entanglements, and as our quantum entanglements continue to increase, as we raise our frequency through alchemy that we just went through recently, showing you the 7 parts of alchemy, is you're raising your frequency. Now you're able to match the higher densities. And as you're able to match, you're able to go through them to the 5D, through the 4D, and 3D realities, and know how to maneuver through them because you have a password. Your password is your frequency. Your username is your vibration. Ooh, I just got that. Your vibration is actually, your vibration is temporal, and your frequency is something that is like your not your short term, like fate's short term. Your frequency is more long term. Your granted password, your frequency is granting you passwords to these dimensions to go through them. As you raise it, it matches, so you go in. If it doesn't match, you have not the ability to go to higher places, higher frequencies. This is what we're happening. We're finding, we know that energy, frequency, vibration, like Tesla said, 369 is raising our frequency and go into these places that we had not accessed before, but since we're working on it. And I remember the last year and a half ago when I kept saying things were changing for me, I kept having these dreams, and at the first they started out, my dreams were really, I'd go on these dreams, and I'd go through these frequencies, and I would see a lot of chaos amongst, like, being in a city, being in the hood, it always seemed to be more cityified, and there'd be a lot of chaos as you go through the chaos of the streets and chaos of the situations. And what would we find out through the chaos? I observed people chasing people, really chaotic, no connection, more chaos, people versus people. But every time I would go on those dreams at this time, a portal would appear to me and I would go through the portal. The portal would appear, I'd go through it and leave that chaos spot. This happened 3 to 4 dreams every time I go through this. But what was beyond that, I'd wake up. But then after those 4 times, I would have these dreams, and I no longer was in a chaos spot, but I was in a total unity of collective unity of the people who were there. Hence, the people were in this place were a collective unity that were doing creative things in their skill base of them as individuals. If I could use an example, it'd be like a craftsman that makes the best wooden furniture was the best. But guess what he wasn't in? He wasn't in the maintenance man's business, in maintenance man's chaos, in argumentative to him. He was totally absorbed in what he was creating and doing in a unity and oneness, even though he wouldn't talk to me about all this bunch of crap and chaos and talking about people, which we get in the 3D reality, as you know. What he would end up doing was he would end up saying, I'm not trying to ignore you, but I'm super focused on making the best things that I make and create from the space and unity. And every dream after that, I was going into the space of unity and wholeness, and everybody was collective into the space now that I was teaching in this classroom. And in this classroom, I'm just sharing the dream with you. In this classroom we were in, I heard a noise and was like, it was loud, and bang, it hit. So I looked out the window in this room, in this building, and I said, that's like a structure. So me and those in the class that I appeared to be teaching as I was in the dream went out there. And we looked at it and we were going, this is a structure. Where did it come from? It fell. We heard it fall and bang, hit the ground like an earthquake. And we go out, and then this is what would happen after that. Other things began to fall. Part of structures began to fall. I would hear it first and then immediately see it. Hear first, see. I would hear, the sense of hearing would be first, but right behind it, then I could see, and I would go, everybody move 12 steps to your right, and everybody collectively in harmony and unity moved together. Nobody said, why? There was not that unity. I don't want to go. Nobody did that. They moved harmlessly in unity together, slid to the right. This would happen again, slid to the left when another structure would fall, slide backwards when another structure would fall. And this dream was this was happening. And every time I go into this place, I would see this unity and connective, collective unity. And now I understand it was the I was seeing the chaos of the 3D, and I went to the 5D reality where everybody was harmonized. Guess what? The painter did not talk crap about the craftsman. They were in unity. That's what I was seeing. So why I'm saying this, these passwords to go to these other densities are all connected. As your frequency is your password on this level. Let's look at this a little bit more. He said specific frequency patterns crucial for proper communication and operation, right? Key points. Just a strong password would give you an unique to each user. Specific frequency should be distinct to a particular device. Signal, right? You're talking device signal. We're talking electric. We're talking energetic fields to prevent unauthorized access. That's why people just can't willy-nilly walk into 5D. Walk through a portal. You can't. You got to match it. You have to have a password. Your password going not into computer stuff. This is all a type of. Your frequency matches where you go in density and how you go in timelines and catch timelines. Timeline switching is the Mandela effect. And you go, well, how is it the Mandela effect? It's a Mandela effect because there's two principles here in the Mandela effect. One of the principles about the Mandela effect is that he died. In prison, he died. The other one was, well, he's a president. And then the ones that say, no, he died. He never was a president. This is the Mandela effect. And then another group said, we seen on the timeline, another timeline. No, he became president. No, on the other timeline, no, he died in prison. This is what we have here. We're switching timelines where things change. Even this has happened with old businesses. I don't know if it was Montgomery Ward's. I think it might have been called, and I'm trying to remember, it wasn't Sears and Roebuck, but an older business like that, where they said, it wasn't Montgomery Ward's, it was Montgomery Ward. No, I see Montgomery Ward's. No, it was always Montgomery Ward. And like that, it might not be that store, but that's the kind of timeline jumping that we're thinking something was different than other people seen it another way and other people seen it in another way. In this reality, truths are only half because you have to know the other side. because the other side brings neutral and balance, like we talked about in the last. Neutral and balance is where your power is. When you get so polarized on a truth that you go way to the right, you're not harmonized, you're actually polarized until you get back to the middle. Then you can be neutral or harmonized with both truths of both sides, because we live in a duality. And as we went 2 videos ago, we seen that part of this alchemical inner alchemy in the coagulation state is harmonizing the dualities into uno, raising, password needed. Now, this is heavy. Let's see, the uniqueness. Strong password read the authenticity. Notice the uniqueness is part of what you are. What differs us all in the individual state of us as souls is our uniqueness. Kind of like our fingerprint. They all look the same, but they all distinguish differently as the uniqueness between us. Authentication. Matching the correct frequency can verify the identity of the source, just like a password verifies a user's identity when logging in. As we go into the source of who we are, we need to be the authentication. That's why we're always looking, get the unauthentic parts of yourself, wrap it around, reverse engineer it. That's not authentic by you. Be the authentic person, be the authentic self that you are, right? And then security. Someone discovers a frequency password, they could potentially intercept or disrupt communication, similar to how compromised password could lead to unauthorized access. Powerful. Powerful. So I'm here to tell you your frequency. Shoot, I guess I'm gonna be needing the light on in here, huh? It's got a little darker, and I turned to the bottom chakra. We got red, right? But anyways, yeah, this is good stuff. Your password is your frequency. Is your password for the timeline split and higher density travel. That's why you don't take your physical body. When you fall asleep, you travel. Your soul, which is in a frequency, goes to places permitted. Some places it can't enter into because your frequency doesn't match it. You may not go there and have the experience, but you go somewhere else and you do. And I remember having those dreams. I was like, why are so many chaotic? But there's always a portal. Then after that, I no longer was in the chaotic part of the dream. I was on the other side of the portal in the 5D reality. And it took me a time to fully understand this. It didn't happen, the interpretation like that. I had to process in my growth of healing, going through the processing to have this happen. Yeah, awesome. So your password, your frequency, souls, is your password. You guys have an awesome day. This is the word of the day. Password.